Again, I'll just warn you that live videos don't really tend to tell me who's online and who's not. So it's like it has a view count, but it's very inaccurate. So you'll have to say hello. How is everybody doing? Apologies for the loud noises. I'm done hacking now, don't worry. I think I might need to actually sharpen my knife soon, because it's getting a bit pushy. Hello! People! What's everybody doing? Normally Fiskisúpa doesn't actually have potatoes, but I don't have other ingredients, so I thought I'd do this instead, because yum. Who can resist a good potato? I bet you are. Try not to draw over Flipkey too much. Meanwhile, everybody's having heart attacks because of my big knife. Chopper! Yeah, it's a big chopper. So many jokes there. And then finally, go looking. Oops, that one just shot off the chopping board, but oh well. And that'll do. Just gonna wash this. Wahey! Where is the spoon? Ah. Here's the spoon! Okay, so onions and leeks are softening in the pan with some butter at the moment, and eventually I'll be adding a little port to that, tiny bit, and then some vegetable stock, and then the fish. One sec. Sorry, I was just checking something. I'm kind of multitasking. I've got a billion things on the go at the moment, so... But yeah, like I said, the potato is just going in because I like potatoes and it bolts it out. I won't be a sec. Just grabbing something. Yes, stinky fish. Hello. To give you an idea of what's in. Yeah, Lee's going in there as well. And then this, a little bit of this. Oh, I forgot, this is one of those. Ah, what a sound. It is, it's very good. Now I've just got to make veg stuff, that's it. They're buried! No. Pickle! See, I would make a joke on Sydney's behalf, but... Just like that, my jug has disappeared. Oh well. Cup it is, I get. How are you? Bye bye! Oh, y'all! This is more. I'm kind of blocked in here, so I've just got to shimmy that way. There we go. I'm having to make do with these because I don't have veg stock. Whee! It's disappeared. I guess I used it all. Oh well. Bye! Not me. I'm not going anywhere. Also, whoa! Now the onions are hurting. The onion ninjas. So yes, tell me what everybody is up to. Also, apparently my battery is low. Great. Put that to one side because I'll need that soon. Ow! I think it's a bit overkill, don't you? To anybody just coming in now, you missed the vegetable chopping. The tiniest amount of port in this. Usually it's a good idea to have sherry, but since this one's an aged one, it works quite nicely. Oh, doctors! Good luck with that. Yes, I'm multitasking, doing stretches at the same time as cooking because otherwise I won't get time to do them tonight. Salt and pepper. And let that simmer, right. And now to have a quick look at my fish. So what we have here is a mixture. We got smoked haddock, some Icelandic cod, and of course salmon. And eventually that will go in. But first, I'm afraid I don't think it survived very well in the post, I'm afraid, but I'm being a little bit of a cheat by using a little, like, puree. Oh, that reminds me. I need to get the cream out because dairy has started murdering me lately. And then, where are we? Chopped. A good old store-covered staple, chopped tomatoes. If you can see a box in the back, that's just the Christmas box. It's ready for, like, eating in December. It's all the good stuff. I made a post about them the other day actually, and posted some of the photos, so go check that out to see what's in that box. And then now I can add the veg. add more water. And let that simmer. And while that simmers, I can be more nosy and see how you're doing. Oh, that reminds me, I need to add a couple of extras. So that was my dill. I don't have fresh dill, unfortunately, at the moment, so. I like to adapt things to how I like them, so I always add garlic to everything. It's not traditional, but I don't really care. I like it. Even if I am slightly intolerant. It's a good thing Dina isn't here, though I should be making vampire jokes. To be fair, it's going to take a fair while now, so in the meantime, I might as well travel with you. Oh, and usually this one has celeriac, but I didn't have celeriac because it's hard to get sometimes around here, which is ridiculous. Okay, now the onions are starting to get me. Why does that happen? It could be like an hour after I finish chopping them, and then it gets me. So you'll have to excuse me if I start crying uncontrollably. Oh no, I'm gonna start getting itchy now. But yes, I'll show you exactly what's going on in the pot. That's going to reduce down, excuse the honey, that's for mead. That's going to reduce the water down. Oh. And then I'll be adding the fish so it doesn't dry out. And then the cream right at the end because you don't want it to separate. Oh no, here we go. If I go red and blotchy, don't be alarmed, it's just my tears. So yeah, has anybody got any plans going on for the dreaded C word next month? For us, we're still in lockdown, so unfortunately we're not allowed to see family. Oh boy. People are going to clip this. Rachel bawling her eyes out. It's onions! Okay, now it's starting to itch. Ooh, what do we have here? I just remembered something that I could add to. Nope, it's disappeared. I must have eaten that too. Whoops. In the meantime, while I'm waiting for everything to cook, I'll just chat rubbish in the background and do a bit of stretching. I have my friend streaming at the moment. Unfortunately, I can't have audio on because of copyright reasons, and Facebook likes to do a thing where it deletes anything with a soundtrack because it's stupid like that, you know, copyright and all that. the last time I actually had a soundtrack in the background of a live video, it got deleted as spam, so not great. So yeah, this is usually the space I have to work with regarding dance practice, and it's not ideal because, well, let's face it, it's a tiny space. This is my kitchen, come living room, so yeah, it isn't fun, is it? It's annoying. It's like, even if you credit the artist, Facebook likes to take them down, so I'm being very careful in my lives to not have any soundtrack in the background. Also, excuse the alcohol. Ignore it. I still actually have batches of my meat from last year. I should probably get on that. So, yeah, just waiting on that now to simmer a bit. The potatoes need to go down to about medium firmness, and then I can properly finish it off. So, tell me about your day. Tell me what's going on with you guys. Yes, me and my backwards elbows, I know. Sorry. I apologise. I apologise for my elbows. It's bubbling away nicely now, so... Just replying to a couple of messages. Because it's always subtle. You start a stream and you get a billion messages all in one go. Oh no, not the dreaded art blog. I'm supposed to be doing some of that at the moment, and the muses are not working. It's terrible. It's the same with the Mister. He's got writer's block at the moment. The backwards elbows. I apologize for my elbows. Also, hello. Yes, I'd say that was actually more good timing than weird timing. I do see comments, but the problem is sometimes it's a bit... If you mean in here, it's delayed by quite a margin. I actually once got someone to track it, and it was about 30 seconds up to a minute sometimes to see messages. I'm not sure what it's like today, but as usual the counter isn't working properly. As for messages in my inbox, like I have to keep posting about, I can only check them when I'm logged into a PC, because Messenger on my phone doesn't work properly. So I don't ignore people, it's just I have a backlog. I mean, right now, to give you an example, it's maxed out, like, you know, it only goes up to 99 to count. It's maxed out, so it's, who knows how many I actually have as a backlog right now. So, yeah, it's a bit stressful. I have to go through things one by one. So, yes, apologies again. Also, hello, AJ! Hello! Oh, boy. Let's check this, see what's going on with it. That's doing nicely. Eventually, I should be able to start adding the fish and a little bit more stock, and then eventually the cream. Just got to make sure that it doesn't stick. And then there's one more thing I was going to add. What was it? Ah, there you are. The tiniest amount. Just for a bit of a savoury kick. Because you can never get enough fish in a fish soup. But yes, just to give you an example of what I've already put in. I better turn that down actually, now it's up to a boil to a simmer. I chopped onions and leeks, softened them in butter, and then I added some port, some aged port. Normally sherry works better, but because it's an aged port it tastes kind of has the same note to it. And then a load of stock. It's supposed to be vegetable, but I appear to have eaten all my veg stock. So I had to use chicken, which is a bit strange, but oh well, it works. And then I added some tomato puree, some chopped tomatoes, potatoes, some carrots for a little sweetness, and then this is the fish. Let me just wash my hands first because I've been touching stuff. And this should last us a couple of days because I always cook for more than 2 at a time so that it lasts. Alright, so this is the fish. So I have smoked haddock, which is a lovely yellow colour, gives it a nice colour in the soup as well. Some Icelandic cod, as you can see it's all chopped up into bits. And naturally salmon chunks. It's all very nice and fishy. Like me, I'm fishy. Wait, that could be taken the wrong way. Not like that. I meant fishy as in suspicious, how dare you. Give this another good stir. Tiny taste to make sure the herbs are all balanced. Needs more dill. That should do it. Like I say, I would use fresh dill, but I don't have any at the moment. At the moment all I have in the garden is rosemary, which is going crazy. And my mint has kind of Make America Great Again. No. Also, I'm not in America. Obligatory political statement. Barking up the wrong tree there. And so, that's doing nicely, and I'll soon be able to add the fish. If I add it too quickly, it can make it break up or go horrible, which is not good. You don't want dry fish or gross fish. Can't describe it very well. Fish. Yeah, and then all I have to do after that is add a little more of the port, cook out the alcohol, and then make sure all the veg are completely soft, and add the fish. And then the cream. Yeah, fish soup is not for everybody. It's If you're not a fish lover, you will not like it. Then again, you might. Who knows? Because it's a creamy base, so it tends to have a rich kind of cream flavour with like a tomato base almost. Usually it has celeriac, so there's a slight aniseed. And then the dill also enhances that. So it's like an aniseedy, creamy, tomatoey, fishy melange. I don't know. And in the meantime, I should do more stretches before I seize up again. Because tonight I have to be doing some more practice because I can't keep putting it off, naughty me. But yes, while I'm at it, I might as well talk about the whole charity thing that I've got going on. 12 miles down, so halfway there. Just 12 more miles left to go until the end of November for Pancreatic Cancer UK. But yeah, I'm halfway there already. The weather hasn't been too forgiving, so it's been raining a lot. I mean, a lot. So it's like I've been hiding. Lots of hiding. Sadly, if I went out in the rain too much, I'd be a horrible, itchy, blotchy, red, stingy, burny mess, which is never a good thing, so, yeah. But I'm trying. I just bundled up in a hell of a lot of waterproof stuff to go out the other day to get up to 12 miles. Oh yeah, spicy dishes I like. Did a goat curry recently, Jamaican goat curry, or curry goat. Let's just say that these are a staple in my house. Good old Scotch bonnets. Now I can add the fish. So in goes the cod. Jolly good, yeah. Ooh, a bone. I missed one. Don't want that in. Actually, I better make sure. Yeah, all good. So that is the cod. Now in goes the haddock. Make sure there's no bones left. I always like to make sure because the last thing you want is to be enjoying your soup and then suddenly jolly good show, what? Now don't make me do the Mary Poppins tea, etc. thing. Well, no! You see, my fingers are terrible. I just dropped it, now I've got to clean it. Yeah! Oh, my fingers are terrible. My grip is just, oh, abysmal grip. Jolly good, what, pip pip, rather, Mary Poppins cup of tea. Oh, I made a kettle joke earlier, you missed it, Sydney. Shame. And so, right. That's all the fish in. And now all I have to do is boil it a little, well not boil it, simmer it a little longer so that the fish cooks nicely. And then add a tiny amount more of the port. And then once it's finished going, I can add the cream. If I add the cream too soon, it splits. And you don't want that, it's kind of gross. Kettle! Kettle! And if anyone gifts that, I'm going to be... But in the meantime, now that's simmering away nicely, eventually it will not look like that. It will be a cream soup. And as you can see, the fish is cooking nicely already. You don't want to do it too fast. The salmon has a habit of being kind of gross if you cook it too fast and too much. In the meantime, how's everybody doing? I'm still attempting to sort out my rose situation. TLDR, I ordered roses, if you haven't seen my posts about it. I ordered some roses back in June, and I still don't have them. They've attempted delivery a couple of times, but there's been no air of it. Nothing posted through the door, neighbours haven't taken it, and so I keep having to go back and forth with the company, and I just feel really anxious about it, because after the second time, it feels a bit suspicious. If I was a seller, and someone was coming to me and saying, I still haven't received these expensive roses after, say, the second time, I'd be a bit about it. So I'm really, really anxious about it. I know I shouldn't be, and it's a bit silly to be anxious about it, but that's just me. So yeah, I've sent them an email yesterday, but I still obviously because it was Sunday, they wouldn't get back to me until today, but I'm assuming it'll be tomorrow now because I still haven't heard anything back from them. But yes, fingers crossed we can actually get to the bottom of this. And the problem is that they use the regular mail system, and that's not tracked. So it's like with couriers, they'll generally tend to take a photo of your front door or where they've left the parcel if they've left it. But with regular mail, obviously that's not a thing, so you can't prove that it's not been delivered, you can't prove that, you know, it's gone missing and all that. You only have the customer's word on that. And I hate that, to be fair. I would rather pay a little extra for tracking. But yes, it's getting there nicely now. Focus, camera, there we go. And I may do this in a non-traditional way of blitzing this. It is not usual, but I kind of like the whole bisque texture. So I may end up being a bit naughty and doing that. So I hope my neighbour's prepared for some blending sounds. Huh? Okay, so apparently I've just received an email regarding my rose. One of them. Speak of the devil, you've got to love that timing. I was basically sent a rose back in June that I'd ordered, and it was the wrong one. I planted it, not realising it, and then when it flowered I was like, hang on a second. So they said, oh, you know, we'll replace it, and it's just apparently been sent out, so I guess I'll have to make sure that someone's in. To be fair, I wouldn't mind doing that as a profession, but my arms are not reliable enough. I drop things very easily. My grip's terrible from one day to the next, and I would probably have like a pan full of hot butter or something, and I'd be like, whoops. Hello. Okay, let's test the softness of the potatoes. They're getting there. So let's just give them a little longer with a lid on. Get here. Oh. No, that's not the right lid. No, well, a frying pan will have to do. It'll do. Also, that is a terrible frying pan. I've used it way too much and it needs replacing. But oh well. It's a fish soup, an Icelandic recipe. So usually you use Arctic char or salmon. You can use haddock, cod, things like that. I've got a mixture of smoked haddock, which I love because the smoke. Well, I don't actually like haddock per se, but I like the smokiness. I'm using Icelandic cod and I'm using salmon. And you add it to a pan with celeriac, leeks, onions, some sherry, some vegetable stock, tomato puree, chopped tomatoes, like a can of chopped tomatoes will do. Simmer it nicely, and then you add some cream right at the end, and reduce it until it's a little thicker than usual. However, I've adapted it because I have certain tastes, and I like potatoes in practically everything. Big fan of the starches. Also, you cook everything in butter because it's nice. Oil just doesn't have the same flavour. The oil. I will be sure to post. Sorry, I was just checking things. Got distracted for a second. I will be sure to post a recipe afterwards with a load of pictures as usual. You know me. And in the meantime, I'm going to talk about the whole charity thing yet again because, you know, I can't plug it enough. So if you don't want to hear about my charity work, feel free to just plug your ears. It is nice, yes. It's not for everybody, but if you like fish and you like, I suppose, almost like creamy bisque flavours, then I think you'd enjoy it. This is usually where I perch my phone. when I talk to other people online. So you get a nice view of the Mister's portrait. So, yeah, so Yule this year will consist of me and the Mister on our own. Indoors, eating copious amounts of food. And yes, while I'm here I might as well show you the Yule box. And so, excuse that. That was my piss take shield. I was asked, because I have an axe, do I have a shield? So I was like, yes I do. And so, here we go. Right. And this is the Yule box. This is what we have ready for December. The all-important salmiak. You have to do toast with that. This one is mostly because I can only drink so much. Alcohol has a very strange effect on me, and I don't like it very much, so after a certain amount of things, I'll only be on that. And also this, because this is important. You have to have a nice glass of this or two. And I am so happy to finally have this. Getting some of these is really usually quite difficult. So, I want to thank Scandi Kitchen for being able to send these out. Amazing. I don't like ginger, but gingerbreads like this, oh so good. And that's what these are. These are very thin, fragile ginger. These are not mine. These are actually salted licorice coins, which are the Mister's treat for you all. And then this is a treat between us. Being able to get hold of these, again, is really difficult unless you want to pay a fortune. But I was able to source these for a fraction of what they usually are. On Amazon, you're looking at about £20 a box, or around $24, or depending on what currency you use, or euros. That would be, to be fair, pound and euro not that different at the moment, so about 20 euro. And yes, the last time we were eating these was in Finland at night time in a horse sled, enjoying the wilderness, going for a sleigh ride in the wilderness, in the trees and in the hills, overlooking a few small villages and things like that. So this was, as soon as I saw these, I had to. Cough, cough, ignore. And this is a rosehip drink that you can use. It's good because it has a load of vitamins in it, and it's best served hot. Yeah, it's a must-have during winter, and so I'm happy I managed to get hold of it. And so that's some of the stuff. The other stuff is in the fridge because it's perishable. So that is non-alcoholic, I just want to point out. And imagine like a malted cola root beer cross, and that's basically the flavour. It's really good, and I love it. Ta-da! Let's check on this stew soup thing. Yeah, that's doing nicely. It smells very fishy. Just going to let it go a little longer. And again, excuse the pan. It was supposed to be copper, and it turned out to be fake copper. Even though we paid a fair amount for it, so I'm annoyed. So yeah. Oh, yes, I might as well show you, actually, the perishable things I got. So that is herring in an Earl Grey citrus marinade, which I thought was very interesting because Earl Grey and herring, and I love both. And then of course you have to have a small block of the brown cheese. And that's the colour of it at the top. Very important. The Mister loves that stuff. And then we also have the smelly French cheeses, because you have to have smelly French cheeses. And my all-time favourite smelly cheese. I absolutely love this stuff, but every time you open the fridge, it's horrendous. The amount of guests that I've gassed out by opening the fridge with that in it. It's not as bad as stinking bishop, but it's still pretty bad. Oh. And now I've done talking for the country. And as usual, Facebook's not being completely truthful with who's watching and who's not. So, apologies if I've not said hello, because it's not telling me that people are watching. Yay. I'll just check to make sure that the potatoes are done correctly. Oh, and in the meantime, check out my kill rack. It's minus a couple of knives, which are usually up there, but I call it my kill rack. Turn that down a little bit, that's getting a bit too ferocious. Ah, yes, that's perfect. And now I can reduce it. Now I can reduce it until it's a little less liquid. It's a little too ferocious still, so I'm just going to turn that down. There we go. Let that simmer nicely. And check it, because it'll stick if you don't. Because the ingredients in it tend to like to stick a lot, which is quite frustrating sometimes if you're not used to it. Let's see what's going on. Anything new? Yes. So does anybody else have plans for December? If anything at all. If not, Is it just a case of staying in and dossing around, or do you have any projects that you're currently working on? If you've got projects, feel free to post them in the comments. I'm sure people will be very interested to have a nosy. It's always good to share things around. Oh, that's my stomach. Well, it is like 8:15 right now at night, and I'm still waiting on food. Ooh, the steam's actually making me a little itchy, so I'll have to excuse that. Let's check this. Ah, that's much better. And now all we have to do is add a little more of the port, cook out the alcohol from it, and then we can add the cream to finish it. And then that should do it. Only a small glug of that. It's just mostly for taste rather than, because you don't want a very alcoholic fish soup. That's a bit strange. Haha, of course. I blame you for my husband's absolute obsession with that right now. He loves his port. And cook the alcohol out now, and it will make a nice rich flavour. Hello! Yes, I'll just show it to you. It's just one that you can pick up in the supermarket usually, so it's a 10-year-old. I love the bottle, it's so nice. I might actually use that afterwards and as a candle holder or something, because I love that frosted colour. Look at that. There's only a small amount left. Need some more. Taylors, yes. And amusingly, that's also a family name. Oh, I hate the waiting game. I'm so impatient. When I'm hungry, I'm so impatient. I was just like willing it to cook. Yeah, sometimes we serve it cold, sometimes not. It depends on what we fancy, really. It's one of those habits of room temperature's nice sometimes. The fish soup. Now, to be fair, the best accompaniment with fish soup, crusty bread, and any acrid that's been made with dill or angelica or anything like that. So it's got a nice aniseed flavour. It goes so well with this. And of course, yes. Because otherwise, I'll be like, I'm in pain. And here we go. Yeah, right now it's incredibly cold here. Well, I say incredibly cold, it's not actually as cold as it could be. So my butter is actually very hard right now. So I have to keep the heating on if I'm cooking, because otherwise it solidifies to the point where you can't do anything with it. Now you want to be very careful and turn the heat down at this point, because if it separates, it is quite horrible. Ah, that's nice! It's raining and foggy and absolutely disgusting here with lockdown and plenty of COVID. In fact, my region has actually overtaken one of the worst areas affected in the country, which is not too optimistic. And then the rest you use to garnish. And there we have it. Although I will be being completely untraditional and blitzing this into a smooth bisque, because that's what I'm in the mood for, and I'm going to be an absolute hypocrite of following traditional standards. Ta-da! Fiskisúpa. Now let me just check the flavours. It needs one more thing. One more. A very non-traditional ingredient. But I like it because it adds depth. And everybody is screaming at me, how dare you! Adds a little more seasoning and a bit of depth. Everyone in the Bob Ross streams like ruined, but only over my soup. Ruined. All done. Ta-da! And yes, I'm a messy cook, I've splattered it everywhere. So you have chunks of salmon, chunks of Icelandic cod, chunks of smoked haddock. And the potatoes are a non-traditional ingredient as well, like I've said. I just love potatoes in my soups and things. Usually it would be celeriac or something of that nature in it, but I don't care, I love potatoes. And so, I'll plate some up in the traditional way rather than... let's see. Purple or white? I think I'll go purple, it's bigger. There we go. Now you can be noisy as I plate it up. Make sure you serve directly from the bottom, because a lot of the stuff tends to float to the bottom. Float to the bottom? Or fall to the bottom. Because of the different densities. Just a little clean up. Just to be a bit pretentious, you know. And then what I can do is a tiny splash over the top and a tiny dusting of dill. there we have it. Fish soup. And on that note, I shall see you guys later. Bye.